I want to go to Tel Aviv now. We've been reporting that there's been another barrage of rockets fired at Tel Aviv from Gaza. Al Jazeera's Imran Khan is there live. So, Imran, clearly Hamas has not lost completely its ability to fire rockets. What can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you that sirens have been going on off in the southern communities just outside of the Gaza Strip throughout the morning. About 2 hours ago, we heard a very large explosion in the background. We're hearing that at least one rocket was fired over Ben Gurion International Airport just outside of Tel Aviv. That was intercepted by the Iron Dome defense system. This is a real message from Hamas that on day 59 of this war, they can still reach as far as Tel Aviv. In the last 48 hours, we even saw rockets reach a suburb west of Jerusalem as well. So clearly Hamas have this capability. Now, the Israelis are saying that they have control of the north and central parts of Gaza. But we are hearing that rockets, at least one rocket was fired from the north of Gaza, which goes to show you that they may not have the control that they keep telling us that they have.
Imran, if we can pivot to the latest diplomatic move, and I'm going to ask you the same question that I will then ask Kimberly Halkett, our White House correspondent in Washington, D.C., and it's about this American delegation that has arrived in Israel today. This is the delegation of the vice president and her national security advisor. They're in Israel today. On your end, what is the reporting on what they're and on what they're trying to do is one, but also more importantly on your end, how Israel is likely to receive their message?
Well, the trip is very clear. The National Security Advisor for Kamala Harris is here to discuss the day after. What the Americans want to do is put pressure on the Israelis to start thinking about how they conduct this war for what happens when the shooting war finishes. Now, Kimberly Halkett, my colleague, will get into the specifics of that at the time. But how is this likely to be received in Israel? Well, they'll take it with a pinch of salt. Israel knows that America is its only true friend in the world. It's the one country it can rely on to back it up. It gets $3.5 billion a year in military assistance from the U.S. alone. Since October 7th, that's actually gone up. The Americans are supplying them with 57,000 artillery shells and 15,000 bombs, including 2,000-pound bunker buster bombs. Those are the kind of things we saw used in Afghanistan and Iraq against military bases. So there is a complete support militarily for what the Israelis are doing, certainly when it comes to the type of weapons. But politically speaking, the Americans want the Israelis to change, but the Israelis have always maintained they are going to conduct this war in the way that they see fit.
Imran Khan reporting from Tel Aviv. Thank you very much. Let me take that conversation over to Kimberly Halkett, our White House correspondent. You're obviously standing by in Washington, D.C. On your end of this delegation, this is the VP sending her national security advisor after she had some pretty strong words, addressed to Israel. What do you think the Americans are trying to achieve here?
Couple of things. First of all, as Imran said, they're trying to figure out who's going to govern post-war Gaza. And what we know is that they're trying to have a conversation with the Israelis about a revitalized Palestinian Authority. And that is something that the Israelis have already indicated they're very lukewarm to. And so the United States is also exploring an option of perhaps what an international governing body might look like. So this is the start of what is expected to be some very lengthy conversations. And as Imran mentioned, it will be Vice President Kamala Harris's national security team led by Phil Gordon. He was with her over the weekend as she met with Arab leaders, and now this conversation is continuing with the Israeli counterparts. Now, as part of this conversation, very quickly, Cyril, it have 5 components, and I call it the 5 no's. The United States says that essentially what they're hoping post-war Gaza will look like will be 5 principles: no forced displacement for Palestinians, no reoccupation, no blockade, no reduction in territory, and no use of Gaza as a platform for what the United States calls terrorism. So they do have kind of a formulation of what they want it to look like. But of course, the Israelis have said that they have their own ideas, and trying to get those to meld is the challenge.
Absolutely. Kimberly Halkett reporting from Washington, D.C. Thank you very much for that, Kimberly.